Imagine you're going about a perfectly normal day. The sun's shining, life is good, everything is exactly as it should be. And then, somewhere out in space, without any warning at all, the sun just disappears. I don't mean it explodes or fades away, it just switches off, like someone flipped a light switch.
So what would actually happen? What happens to us, to our planet, in the seconds, minutes, and hours after our star is just gone? Well, the answer is a lot stranger, and honestly a lot more terrifying than you probably think. Let's walk through the chilling sequence of events.
Okay, here's the first mind-bending twist. For a full 8 minutes after the sun vanishes, absolutely nothing would happen. Seriously, nobody on Earth would have a clue. Why? It all comes down to the universe's ultimate speed limit.
See, nothing in the cosmos is instant. It takes light about 8 minutes to travel from the sun to our eyes. And guess what? The same goes for the force of gravity. So for those first 8 minutes, we'd be completely, blissfully unaware, still basking in the last rays of light and being held in orbit by a star that isn't even there anymore, a ghost.
But then, that 8-minute grace period ends. The very last photon of sunlight hits your eye. The final gravitational wave washes past us. And instantly, the entire world is plunged into an eternal star-filled night. And this is where the real collapse begins.
The shutdown isn't one single event. It's a cascade of failures, one domino knocking over the next. In a flash, every solar panel on Earth goes dead. Communication satellites, now without power, start to fail. But the most immediate and shocking impact would be on the natural world itself. An unexplainable terror would grip the animal kingdom. Birds, who use the sun's position to navigate, would become completely lost, literally falling from the sky in confusion. And on a microscopic level, a quiet, invisible death begins. Photosynthesis just stops. All plant life on the planet starts to slowly suffocate.
So after that first wave of chaos and darkness, a second, much slower, and maybe even more terrifying disaster kicks in, the Great Freeze. Without the sun's constant warmth, the Earth immediately starts bleeding its heat out into empty space, and it happens shockingly fast.
The speed of this temperature drop is just staggering. Within a single day, the average global temperature would hit the freezing point. After only 1 week, it plummets to a bone-chilling minus 17 degrees Celsius. And it just keeps getting colder.
So, what does minus 17 degrees actually feel like for a planet? Well, it means the surface of every single lake and river freezes solid. Every crop that was growing outside is instantly dead. Global agriculture, the entire foundation of our civilization, is wiped out. Gone in 1 week.
And right there, that's the point where civilization as we know it is over. Humanity's goal shifts to just one thing: survival. People would have to flee deep underground, trying to find warmth from the Earth's core, fighting for whatever scraps of food and fuel are left.
A month in, the average temperature hits minus 40. Now, even our planet's massive oceans start to surrender to the cold. A thick crust of ice begins to form, sealing away the seas and slowly creeping across the globe.
Fast forward 1 year. The surface is now a hostile, alien ice world at minus 75 degrees. At this extreme cold, our very atmosphere begins to freeze and collapse. The only human survivors are huddled in deep underground colonies, clustered around geothermal vents or the last few nuclear reactors. Earth isn't our home anymore. It's just a memory.
But here's the final cosmic twist. Even for those few survivors, huddled deep beneath the ice, the worst is still yet to come. Because the cold, the darkness, as bad as they are, that isn't the biggest problem. The true catastrophe is much, much bigger.
You see, we think of the sun as a giant light bulb and a heater, right? But it has another job that's just as critical. Its immense gravity is the anchor that holds our entire solar system together in a delicate cosmic dance.
So the sun gives us two fundamental gifts. The first is light and heat. We've seen what happens when that's gone, a deep freeze. But the second gift is gravity, the thing that gives us a stable home in the universe. And when that disappears, well, so does our world.
The very instant the sun's gravity vanishes, Earth is released from its leash. Think about swinging a rock on a string above your head. What happens if you suddenly cut that string? The rock doesn't keep going in a circle. It flies off in a dead straight line. That is exactly what happens to our planet.
And that is the true, final end of our story. Earth becomes
a rogue planet. An orphan ice rock, untethered and adrift, traveling forever through the cold, dark, silent void of interstellar space. A one-way journey to nowhere.
This whole horrifying scenario really forces us to confront a simple, profound, and maybe often forgotten truth about why we're even here.
When you boil it all down, our entire existence, our civilization, our art, our lives, every single thing we know and love, it all depends entirely on that star in the sky. We are alive for one simple reason, because the sun still rises. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Our whole world hangs by these invisible threads of light and gravity, spun by a star 93 million miles away. It's a pretty humbling reminder of just how fragile our place in the cosmos really is. Will you ever look at a sunrise the same way again?